I am super, super excited to speak to Sue Tellier. She is the president of Jetco Federal. She has been a WIPP member since 2015, and I was so thrilled in particular to hear about your expansion, because as we know, in this environment that we're in, studies show for themselves, women, make it, we're the fastest growing, but after we hit $1 million in business, we're also the fastest closing, right? And so when I hear about women business owners expanding their companies, opening new facilities, expanding their book of business, expanding their offerings, it really excites me. And I know you have expanded into a new facility. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm thrilled to. We're actually all still feeling a little pain from the move because we actually moved last Thursday and Friday, and we still have a few kinks to work out in that process. But we really had a steady state of 3 or 4 employees for so many years. And for us, when we kind of hit that $1 million mark, we were a little stagnant right away, but then we just started really shooting up. We maximized the opportunities that were available to us. We got our WeBank certification. We took those incremental infrastructure steps that allowed us to grow. So our recent move was we tripled our size. We went from 5,800 square feet to 16,000 square feet. I was an English major, so I'm not sure if my math is perfect there, but I'm pretty sure that's about triple. And it accommodates our current team of 11 employees. So it really allows us to have a little bit more warehousing ability. So functionally, it gives us a better footprint, but it also lets our employees have room to breathe and, enough restrooms and parking spots. The great thing too is that our employees really embrace the change. We'd be a tough place to work if you don't like change, because sometimes we change things just because it feels stale, not necessarily because it's broken. And they've really embraced the change, and everyone pitched in on, helping pack up for the move and getting excited about the move. And there's just a lot of fire and intensity at our company right now. And the move was a big part of that.
I love it. I also know from a growth perspective, you all grew 1,400% from 2015 to 2018. I mean, that is a ton of growth.
And we didn't implode, which is cool, because that's the kind of growth that can really, make it tough to keep moving. I mentioned earlier that we maximize the resources available. Some of those are quite frankly through WIPP, and that's not a shameless plug because I'm on this webinar. I've said this outside of, having WIPP people around. We actually had a listening party at our office, our former office, about 2 months ago, so that some of the newer members of my team could hear. I don't remember if it was ethical stalking or a price to win webinar, but there were a couple that we all sat down together and we watched it and had conversations about it while we were sitting in the conference room. So some of the things that I've learned really drove profitability. So we were growing, okay, kind of stagnant, but kind of growing a little bit. But it wasn't just that our revenue grew 1,400%, our profitability grew as well. And that really is what allowed me to invest well in new space and invest well in my people.
Well, that is amazing. I mean, clearly you can see that you have a great culture, because anytime you get a group of people, more than 2 or 3, and they embrace change, it has to do with the leader, right? And it's top down, bottom up. And so clearly you can see that you have created, you and your leadership team, an amazing culture, right, for change. I didn't mind the plug of membership and growth, because that's the reason why we have these calls, right, is because we really want our members to see what membership in WIPP, the value of it, and how that equates to growth for you, for you as a business owner, particularly as a Leadership Advisory Council member, right? So you are embedded within the DNA of our organization, which is great. And so I want to ask you, from not just a business owner, but in particular as a federal contractor, right? Because I know you have business on both sides, the commercial and the government side, but particularly as a federal contractor, what did you gain from WIPP membership?
So the federal contractor in me is what made me find WIPP, actually. When I first joined in 2015, it was because I was really looking for an educated, informative resource to get better understanding about the WASB program and current and future changes that were anticipated for that program. And so that actually is what made me find WIPP. I mean, it was a random Google search or something that made me find you. The fact that one of WIPP's policy priorities is to create parity for WASBs and federal contracting is really powerful for me. And I know all 6 of those policy pillars are important and they resonate with different companies in different ways. But for us, that's the big one, because really understanding that, knowing how to use it for our own company, and honoring the intent of the program, not trying to find loopholes, but honoring the true intent of the program with integrity is really important for our company. And so I've been able to watch how the advocacy team really guides the WIPP membership in becoming an extension of advocacy, which is really, it makes me feel like I'm a bigger part of it. And you guys do a great job of streamlining. You gave a shout out to Ann and Lizzie earlier. I can't even emphasize enough how well respected and well regarded they are in the Beltway. They make it so easy when we go to the Hill to actually have conversations that are educated. And it's not just about, me feeling educated. It's about the fact that you're educating the executive branch and legislators regarding how the lack of parity affects the growth of WASB companies, especially those that are dependent on federal contracting. And for us, 82% of our business is federal government business. So we're actually looking to diversify a little bit away from that, just from a sustainability perspective. The WIPP membership, we wouldn't have the information we have about that program without WIPP.
Wow, thank you so much. And I echo what you're saying about Ann and Lizzie and the hard work that they do on behalf of WIPP and ensuring, again, that we have such an amazing reputation on the Hill. And for me, right, that was carried on from the amazingly hard work, strategic work that Barbara Kassoff did as one of the founders of our great organization. And so you're right. I am very excited that we are called upon, right? So not just go to see members of Congress, but we're actually called upon by them. So thank you very much for acknowledging that. As we close this session, which, I could talk to you all day long because I just have so much adoration for you. As we talk about any new members of WIPP who are looking to engage with our network, what are some of the, pearls of wisdom that you would give them?
I think the one piece of advice I would give is assume that your fellow members are generous in spirit and willing to share their knowledge. And if you approach anyone at a face-to-face WIPP event, you're going to have a welcome. You're going to have a friendly face. You're going to have somebody who cares about what you do and wants to share some wisdom that they've encountered over the years. Assume that other people are going to give to you and assume that you should give back as well.